Jay, I guess starting off with the last couple of weeks for you, getting a certain run in the team, starting lineup and performances. What's that been like for you to come here and then kind of immediately put yourself into the starting 11?
Yeah, I'm grateful for it, first of all, because there's a lot of competition within the squad. So it's not something that just comes easy. You have to work hard for it. Yeah, it's been a weird one for me because obviously I came from being in like holiday mode. So it was always going to be a build-up situation for me where I had to get my match fitness and just fitness overall and in general. But I think these last couple of weeks I felt as if I can give 70 to 90 minutes. And yeah, I've been lucky enough and worked hard enough to be a starter in the squad, and now it's just about bringing what I need to bring, assists and goals in the near future, hopefully, because we're going to need them going into the playoffs.
You look at that last game against Memphis, obviously a bit of a struggle until the last 10 minutes to get too many shots off as a team. That's something that we've seen quite a bit this season. What do you think has been some of that struggle earlier on in games?
For me, when I like to watch the games back quite a lot, and I see that we do create the opportunities. I think for me, myself, I can speak on behalf of the team as well, but myself, in certain situations you have to be much more clinical because they're the little details that matter the most, and that's how you win games. So I think as a squad and me personally, we have to be much more clinical in front of the goal and finish the chances we get, because we might not get too many.
It seemed like you guys were pretty fired up in the first half against Memphis. Kind of talk me through the emotions of the team, pre-game and also in that first half.
I think it was more so that we'd lost 2 home games, so we went out there and we knew that we had to try and get a win for the fans. And the mood around the club and in training had been very high as well, and we were all ready for it. And we knew that if we can get results leading into the playoffs, it will put us in a much better place mentally, and we can also try and go the first we can in the playoffs. So I think it just all added up for us, and then that's why you saw it in the first half. But one thing we do struggle with is when we concede a goal, you'll see that we don't stick to our game plan and things change, and that's something that we need to work on as a team. But then that will come, I'm sure.
On the tone of trying to get good form headed into the postseason, is that same mindset kind of still here with Louisville this week, even though you guys have already clinched? For sure.
It's a win-win situation. If I look at Louisville and we go there and unfortunately we lose, you're still fired up because you know you have to step up. If you go there and you win, you're fired up because you just won against a very good side. So it's a win-win situation. I think we're in a very good position going into the playoffs. So I hope we can just we get a result and then kick on from there.
Do you think, since you've gotten here, almost every game has felt like a week by week, you have to put a result together to get to the playoffs? Do you think that's better prepared you guys for the postseason?
Yeah, for sure. It's obviously a new regime to me. Like, I'm not used to playoffs and everything. I'm usually used to promotion and relegation. So the playoffs is new to me, but since I've came here, I've realized that it's game by game. Every game is important, and you can't treat no game different to others.
Obviously, if the season ended today, you'd go away to New Mexico, having just come away with a win from there a couple of weeks ago. How much confidence does it give you guys that you've got that kind of a big win so recently?
So for me, and this is no disrespect to New Mexico, but I feel very confident in playing them. I feel like when we went there, the playoff is always a different situation, but when we went there, I feel like we pretty much controlled the game against a good side, had a load of chances, and was deserving of the win. So I think that if we were to come against them again, we just bring the same energy and it will be another great game.
Seeing so many of those teams in the top 5 are struggling for form lately, right? Not picking up a whole load of wins. What does that impact with the mentality, going into this final stretch?
I'd say Phoenix itself as a team is considered a top team. They shown last year when we wasn't here that they can go on a run and win it all. So I don't see us no different to top teams. So I just feel like if we focus on ourselves, we can do whatever we please and hopefully win the whole thing.
After the game on Saturday, Diego kind of talked about Louisville and how it's kind of a good situation for you guys playing a really good team going into the playoffs. Do you think that going up against the top leader in the Eastern Conference is going to really kind of test you guys going into the playoffs?
Yep, that's what we spoke on majorly. Playing against a good team before you go into the playoffs is always good, because good teams realistically do expose your weaknesses. So before going into a playoffs, you can see where you go wrong. You can analyze the game against a good team, knowing that throughout the playoffs you're going to play nothing but good teams. So it's always a good situation to be playing your last season game against a good team.
Yeah, following up Owen's mentality, what's been the mentality this whole week heading up into Saturday's matchup?
We have to. Well, there's been some things said, but we want to keep that within our squad just to, know that nobody's listening and we're going to be alright in the playoffs. But the main thing for us is just being locked in. It's time to lock in. We know that now. It's no, okay, we lost this one, we can go again next game. Now you have to win every game. So you're going out there and you're giving everything, nothing less.
And then for you personally, seeing you play off the left, seeing you play off the right, is there a particular, touchline or wing that you're more comfortable on as a player?
Me, I always grew up playing on the left. I feel like I'm much more effective on the left, but for me, it's about the team. So when I need to go to the right, I'll go to the right.
How is your task different on either side then?
On the left, I would say it's more for me to go 1v1 and show my skills in 1v1 situations and get shots off and crosses in the box. When I'm on the right side, it's more combination play, attack the spaces and get in behind and just cause problems from in behind and then get my crosses on as well. But yeah, when you're on the right and you're a right-footed player, it's very limited. Whereas with on the left side, a right-footed player, you can go inside and outside. So yeah, more comfortable on the left.
Obviously, if all things go to plan here, you're going to get to a point where you've got critical games for club in terms of the conference final, as well as critical games for country in terms of Gold Cup qualification. How do you balance something like that?
Yeah, I haven't thought that far yet, but I definitely say that I have belief in both teams. So I know Grenada, my national team, are capable of winning games without me, and I know Phoenix Rising are capable of winning games without me. So when it comes to it, and depending on what the situation is, when that comes and if it comes, I'll just have to make my decision based off my heart and what's needed.
It seemed like in the first half the passing was really good, really getting a lot of good chances. What did you guys kind of see? Was it a scheme, or you guys just kind of came out firing in the first half?
Yeah, I would say in the first half we definitely controlled the game, and we got the ball out wide and we switched from side to side, and that led to me having a lot of joy on the left side in the early stages of the game, especially the first half. It's just, I feel like it's just what we do. It's our principles. Once we do our principles correct, everything flows for us. But there's just little moments where we do forget our principles, and it shows, because then you have like a lack of concentration for a minute. You can see the goal, and then yeah, just about mentality after that and not losing hope. But we showed it against New Mexico. We're capable of it. We go a goal down, and then we come back 2-1 or so. It's definitely possible. It's just about keeping that mentality.
Are you guys still pleased with how the offense played out, passing and chance-wise, even though you didn't put one in the back of the net?
We did, and they said it was offside, but debatable. Yeah, I would say we're pleased, but we can always demand more from ourselves. We're definitely capable of more. We've shown that we can score goals. I feel like, as I said, we just have to be more clinical in front of the goal. Creating chances, it will come. It will come, I'm sure. We have more than enough players in the team that are capable of creating chances, so it'll definitely come. But the main thing is, when you do get a chance, you have to be clinical, because there's top teams all over the world that will go 90 minutes and maybe only get 2 chances, but they score both of them. And then nobody forgets that they only created 2 chances because they scored them.
It's very likely at this point that you're not going to play another game here for the rest of the year. How have you found the travel since coming into the league?
I've struggled. I've definitely struggled. It's been a lot for me. Haven't travelled for each away game that far, and always on a plane. So it does take a lot out of you. So it will play a key factor, but we just have to focus on recovery and make sure you're treating your body right going into the playoffs. And we'll be alright and have tons of energy for each game that we play.